Update. Am I the a-hole for kicking my boyfriend's girl best friend out of my Halloween party because of her costume? Original post. I, 19 female, had a Halloween party over the weekend. I invited my boyfriend, 21 male, and a bunch of our friends over, including his girl best friend. I will call her Agatha. My boyfriend and I had decided to dress up as Peter Pumpkin Eater. If you haven't seen the costume, the guy wears a shirt that says Peter and a girl dresses as a pumpkin. Because, well, you know. I was pretty excited just because I thought it was a funny and cute costume. Agatha texted me the night before the party and asked what my costume was going to be. I explained that couple's costume my boyfriend and I would be wearing, and she replied she would probably just come as a sexy cat. Fast forward to the night of the party. Everyone is having fun and it's a nice time. Well, it was, until Agatha walked in dressed as a pumpkin. She went over and hugged my boyfriend. I swear the room went silent. I got irritated and asked if I could speak with her privately, and we went into my bedroom. I asked why she chose that costume, since she knew the details of the joint costume between my boyfriend and I. She said she didn't see the big deal and thought it would be a better group costume. I told her I didn't think it was funny and I would prefer that she change. I offered her a witch costume that she could borrow for the night. She turned red and started to yell that I don't get to control what she wears. I told her that she was disrespecting my relationship by insinuating that my boyfriend and her hook up. She kept screaming about how it was funny and I needed to lighten up. I ended up asking her to leave. She stormed out of the house and I returned to the party. The mood had shifted and the night felt ruined. My boyfriend agrees that she crossed the line and is planning on cutting her off completely. But a few of our friends are saying that I was being dramatic and I should have let her stay. I guess I'm just wondering, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. You weren't dramatic at all. It seems like she just wanted to ruin your couple's costume. You were doing the right thing and talking to her, and she just didn't hear you at all. So, it was good taking her out of your house. It's nice your boyfriend supports you. I'm very grateful to have such a supportive boyfriend. A lot of people were calling him out on my other post for not standing up, but I think he was just in shock and didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. That's the problem though. Not wanting to make anyone uncomfortable leaves you as the one uncomfortable. Obviously you handled it, but still, you shouldn't have had to alone. Not the a-hole. She overstepped by doing that. She clearly knew you'd be bothered, and she may have more than friends' feelings for your boyfriend. I'm wondering if there was ever an intimate relationship between them at one point. Jealousy is an ugly monster. He said that nothing intimate has ever happened between them. I do trust him, because he was honestly shocked she would pull something like that, since she has always treated me with kindness. I think she has decided she does have romantic feelings for your boyfriend, and is intentionally trying to cause trouble in your relationship. She went out of her way to find out what your costume would be, lied about hers, came dressed as a pumpkin, and made a beeline for your boyfriend to hug him. You have a great boyfriend there. Not all guys would be willing to cut out a girl BFF, especially without you pushing for it. You are not the a-hole. She is. Absolutely not the a-hole. She sucks, and knew exactly what she was doing. I'm glad to see your boyfriend is sticking up for your relationship. I would have done the same thing. We talked about it, and we agreed that it would be equally as disrespectful as my guy friend showing up in a shirt that says Peter. Now for the update 3 months later. Well, I have an update. I meant to post one a few months ago, but I really needed time to process the events that occurred after this whole ordeal. I'm glad I waited though, because you all need to hear this one. Many people pointed out that my boyfriend must be sleeping with Agatha since she went absolutely bonkers for seemingly no reason. I thought since he immediately took my side and blocked her and everything that you were wrong. Well, it was me who was wrong. It turns out that Agatha and my boyfriend have been sleeping together for months, and they were just really good at hiding it. Until she decided that she didn't want to be his mistress anymore. I found this out when I was at his house and hanging out in his room. He was showering after a workout and I heard this vibrating noise. He had taken his phone, and mine was right next to me, so I couldn't figure out what it was. So I opened his bedside table drawer and found a second phone. My gut told me that something wasn't right. Why would he have a second phone? It didn't take me long to guess his password, 1234, and my fears were confirmed. There was a missed call from Agatha. I looked through the messages and found out the truth. Not only had they been sleeping together, she recently found out that she was pregnant. This was the reason she pulled a stunt on Halloween. She was trying to force his hand. I also saw that he was messaging other girls as well, and I was completely devastated. After a shower, he found me grabbing all of my belongings and putting them in my bag. He asked me why I was leaving, and I told him because we were finished. I threw his phone on the bed, and he looked like he was going to vomit. He started pleading me to hear him out, but I didn't want to hear it. He could have all of those other girls. I didn't want him anymore. He followed me out of the house shaking and crying. He even followed me all the way out to my car trying to block my path, and I went over the grass around him and didn't look back. He sent me a long message about how he never wanted to hurt me, that he wanted me back, and how he was using his work phone to text all of these women so I wouldn't find out. That was really helpful. I sent his boss a nice little message about how company property was being misused, but I saw on LinkedIn he no longer works for that company anymore. He is blocked and everything now. I hope him and Agatha have a magical life with their baby. Oh, I heard through the grapevine that he got one of the other women pregnant too. I'm glad I dodged that bullet. As for me, I'm currently in therapy working on my trust issues and learning how to love myself again after this situation. I have been putting myself out there again and have cut contact with anyone who knew what was happening behind my back. Glad you found out when you did, before somehow you ended up baby mama number 3. He's not worth your time. Way to go getting out. I couldn't even imagine. I'm glad that I found out who he truly was before I invested more time and energy in our relationship. I didn't want to hurt you, so I secretly went behind your back knocking up other women left and right. See how much I care? We can work it out, right? Wow, girl, you dodged a bullet. I bet Agatha thought she was the only other woman. I'm sure she is absolutely fuming. The cherry on top is you walking away from this dumpster fire of a mess, going on to live your best life, while those mistresses fight over your trashy ex. Have fun, ladies. But in all seriousness, get an STD check. Then get another STD check in a few months. Some STDs take time to pop up. Considering he was as easy as a Sunday morning, not giving a flying F about your health, get checked then get checked again. Even if y'all used rubbers, is not a guarantee. Thank you for that advice. I got an STD check after I found out about the cheating, but I will definitely schedule another one for this week. Yeah, he was a piece of work. I ignored many red flags because I was so happy to finally feel loved by someone. Well, that wasn't real love. I'm glad I found this out before I truly invested more time into the relationship. I'm looking forward to the future and finding someone special in my life. LMAO, tattling to his boss about the phone is the icing on the cake. I'm glad you're taking time to heal and focus on yourself. I honestly had no idea why he even decided to tell me that. He said he only did it because of his access to the second phone, so I just thought his boss would love to know how company property was being used. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying no to my boyfriend's adult daughter moving in with me? I, 41 female, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, 43 male, for 5 years. We both have children from previous relationships. His oldest is 20 minus 9. His oldest lives with her mother, and she and her mother are fed up with the situation. 20-year-old is supposed to be working and attending classes per the terms of her continuing to live there, but only recently got a job and has missed a lot of school. She wants to stay out all night partying and does not want to follow the rules or treat her mother respectfully. Her mother is at her wit's end between the added burden on her finances and the disruption to her household and the younger siblings. I could write a really long novel about all the things that have transpired. Now, my boyfriend has volunteered for her to move across the country into my house that I own to live with me and my kids. He lives here too, but his work takes him away from home for about 10 months of each year in total. His daughter is fully aware of this. Being that his kids are so far away, I can count the number of times I have spent time with them on one hand, and understandably, they have never really felt much desire to talk to me otherwise. So, we don't know each other all that well. I told him I think it is a terrible idea, as I don't want drinking and edibles going on in my house, nor someone coming in late. I also don't want her bringing strangers into my house and around my kids as she starts meeting new people. I get that these are normal things at her age, so I'm not trying to make her seem like a bad person. I just don't want it in my house. I have been working for years in my ability to set boundaries and enforce them, but I'm still terrible at it because it still gives me anxiety and I'm conflict avoidant. I know I'm going to need to get better at this anyway, since the teenage years are looming ahead for my brood, but I worry that I'm not up to this task presently, and she's going to turn my home and my life upside down and be a negative influence on my kids, who understandably think she's the coolest. When I informed him this, he hung up on me. And in the days since, the sum total of our communication has been him asking if I've thought about it anymore, or if I'm still making it all about me. It is starting to feel like this might be a metaphorical hill to die on. So before I persist, I want to know, am I the a-hole for saying no? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your boyfriend barely lives there. You would be the on-site parent to a 20-year-old that has already completely disrespected her own mother's house rules. He won't be there to control the situation. He is being a total a-hole. This. OP, tell your boyfriend that his daughter is not a child, and not your child. There is no reason for her to move into your home. She's an adult. If she doesn't want to live with her mom, she can get her own place. Or, your boyfriend can finance a place for her if she feels she needs it. None of this involves you. Don't do it. It's not for you, it's for your kids. If she doesn't show respect to her mother, she won't respect your house either. Not the a-hole. And your boyfriend is unreasonable for thinking this is a good solution, when it won't affect him nearly as much as it does you and your family. Not the a-hole. He's volunteered for her to come and live in your house that you own? Hell no. The next time you talk with him, tell him yes, this is all about you. Because you own the house. You would be the one having to live under the roof with her. And you would be the one having to enforce the rules alone most of the time. She's 20, and if she's having problems living with her mother, well, then she's an adult now, and she can move out, get her own place, and do adult things. Not the a-hole. Boyfriend is welcome to have his daughter move into his home. But realistically, your home is a place that he visits. He's not there 10 months of the year. If he wants to rent a place for his daughter to live that he stays in when he's in, which may mean that he isn't helping financially with your place, which would be fair as it isn't clear from your post if he covers any of the expenses at your place, that's totally reasonable. But just declaring, my daughter is going to move to your place because she won't listen to her mom, and won't be here so I won't be any help, and what do you mean that's a terrible idea? That's not reasonable. That's a why would you stay with this guy territory. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to put money into a savings account not in my name? Me and my girlfriend have been together for around 2.5 years. We live together and split rent and bills 50-50, but both have our own personal bank and savings accounts and do not have a joint account. We both have money in our own savings account for various things. My girlfriend has a normal savings account that splits for various things, and also has an individual savings account specifically for saving to buy a house / get a mortgage. This is something we'd both like in the future, and my girlfriend suggested that I put a percentage of my savings each month into that account so we could both contribute towards the deposit. I said I have no problem paying my half of the deposit, but I'd rather just take it out of my savings when the time comes. She asked why, and I just said I wasn't comfortable putting my money into an account I have no access to, and if anything did happen to the relationship, I could have lost a lot of money. She took this as me saying I think we'll break up, but I was just making sure I was protected, in case anything like that happened. She said it seemed like I wasn't as serious about the relationship as her since I wasn't willing to contribute to the savings account. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to put some of my savings in an account that is not in my name and that I do not have access to? Edit. Just to add, her account has slightly better interest rates, and the type of account cannot be opened anymore, which is why she suggested her account. With regard to me getting my name added onto the account, it wouldn't be possible for her to add me, as is the type of account you cannot add others to it. Not the a-hole. It is a massive risk. Sounds like you guys need to have open and honest discussions about finances, and if appropriate, have your name added to the account. I hate when people automatically go for the whole, "Oh, so you think we're gonna break up? You don't believe in us. You're not as invested in this relationship as I am." BS. God forbid girlfriend dies, and OP is declared next of kin / POA, and has no access to the account. All the money OP contributed would be gone. Not the a-hole. If you're going to put money into a savings account, it needs to be in both of your names and you need to set it up so that you both have to approve any transactions or withdrawals that take place. If your relationship goes downhill and it's all in an account in her name, then that could turn into a nightmare of a scenario for you. I see it as a bit of a red flag that she's now throwing a "you're not serious about the relationship" line at you for you literally being sensible about savings. It sounds like a line meant to coerce you into doing what she wants in this scenario. Why do people just dream up stuff to be mad about? What if there was an emergency and she was out of town and you needed the money? There are so many reasons it should be accessible to both depositors, not the whole. It wouldn't be available anyway. If it's the account I think it is, then it is set up specifically with incentives from the government to encourage first-time buyers. Up to £300,000 in savings, they will add 20% on top. The scheme ended for new entrants, but anyone with an account that is still depositing is able to benefit. So, there's no way OP could get his name added or get a better deal.